If you've been feeling more emotional than usual lately, more tired, more reactive, more aware of what doesn't fit anymore, this episode is for you. And I don't mean in a vague end of year motivational way. I mean in the middle of real life way. The kind where you're still showing up, still handling responsibilities, still being the person everyone relies on, but something inside you has shifted and you can't ignore it anymore. You're not falling apart. You're in transition. And if you're listening to this a week or just days before Christmas, when the pressure is to hold everything together, to be present and keep going, while quietly wondering what you're even carrying into another year, I want you to hear this clearly. Nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, is wrong with you. You're not late. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are what I like to call in the messy middle. And by the end of this episode, you're going to understand three things. First, why what feels like burnout is often actually misalignment. Second, why motivation disappears during seasons of growth, even when you're doing everything right. And third, how self leadership is built here before clarity, before confidence, and before the next chapter even makes sense. This episode is for the women in transition, women balancing motherhood, healing, business, identity shifts, and real life, who are ready to stop waiting for permission and to start leading themselves forward with integrity. As you're listening today, I want to give you a simple way to understand what's actually happening in this season as well. Because when you can name it, you stop fighting it. I think about the messy middle as a self leadership process, not a problem. There are three parts to it. The first is naming the season, realizing you're not broken, lazy, or failing. You're misaligned because you've outgrown who you were. The second is regulating your body, because your nervous system has to feel safe before clarity, motivation, or confidence can even return. And the third is choosing integrity, making decisions from alignment instead of fear, even when the path isn't fully clear yet. That's how self leadership is built. Not all at once, but slowly, honestly, and in real time. So as you listen, I want you to hold one question in the background. And you don't need to answer it yet. Just notice what comes up. How am I being asked to lead myself in this season? Not rush it, not fix it, but stay with it. Because this episode isn't about giving you a to do list. It's about helping you understand why this season feels the way it does and how to move through it without abandoning yourself. And before we go any further, take one breath with me, not to calm down, but to arrive. I want you to inhale through your nose, slowly exhale. Now, let's get into it. Welcome to She Rises Through It, a space for honest becoming, slow growth in the unfiltered middle of motherhood, healing, business, and building a life that actually feels good. I'm Sydney, and this podcast is where I reclaim my voice in real time. It's not about doing more, it's about doing it differently. If you're craving real conversations, soulful pauses, and a reminder that you're not alone in the messy becoming, you're in the right place. And just a reminder before we begin, I'm not a medical or mental health professional. Everything shared here is based on my lived experience. Please seek qualified care if you're needing support. You deserve it. You're not behind, you're becoming. December can feel so heavy. And why? Why? Why does December feel that heavy? Well, December has a very specific kind of weight to it. It's not just busy, it's emotionally loaded. It's this month where we're expected to be reflective and grateful while also being productive and present, while also holding everything together to everyone else's expectations. And for women who are in transition, this month can feel a little too much because right before Christmas, the pressure isn't to change, it's to maintain, to keep showing up as the version of you that people recognize because we're trying to keep traditions alive, to keep routines intact, even if those routines are built around a version that no longer fits you. So, if you've noticed yourself feeling more emotional lately, like I have, more irritated, more sensitive, more exhausted in a way sleep doesn't fix, that does not mean you're regressing. It means you're becoming more honest with yourself, and honesty always comes before leadership. And with all of this, I want to talk from where I actually am in my own messy middle. I'm not from a healed place or polished place at that. I'm truly still grieving the old version of me. And November, if you've been following and have been here for a hot minute, November hit our family very hard. Everything had been going so smoothly. And then here comes November, where we're back in the hospital. We have a couple major events that happen, and we're processing through things. We have to drop things to be more present, more aware, and everything that was on our shoulders that we needed to do still was there and weighing us down, but it was just paused. Then December came around, things were getting smoother, things have been getting easier, but time flies now. I've never realized how fast time flies until recently because here we are, December 18th, and I'm like, where did December go? Where did the time go? I feel like I lost all of November, and now we are less than 10 days away from Christmas. 10 days away. Like, what? I just keep thinking, like, wow, this year has shook me up. And obviously and apparently, I'm still not healed in areas that I thought I was healed in. There are old versions of me that I'm still grieving. It's not dramatic, but it's this quiet, real, lived in way like, oh my gosh, all of this just happened 7 months ago. It's a version of me, who survived by pushing. And right now, I feel like I'm pushing still and I'm trying to come backwards because I've pushed in a way that I shouldn't have. And I'm like, oh, wait, but I need to rebalance and relevel myself. And I did not realize how much I'm still holding on to this version that I need to hustle and grind and get everything done. I think November was that hitting point for me, telling me, Sydney, life's going to happen. It's going to come at you like a freight train, and you're going to need to figure out how to slow down and be okay with it. Realizing here in December, it's like, wow, I have not done that. I have been doing so well, but I had slowly, progressively inched back into that hustle grind mentality that I started losing myself again, started not working out. I started having days where I felt deeply frustrated. I mean, the last week and a half, 2 weeks, it has been a hurricane in our house. Not for anyone else, but it's been for myself. I have just been seeing things resurface, anger, sadness that has surprised me, days where worry and fear have sat heavy on my chest. And I've worried. I've worried like crazy. I can't explain it specifically to my husband. It's this area of, let's see if I can even explain it here. It's this area of, I thought I was doing everything right, but am I doing everything right? So you're in this weird limbo and trying to figure out why do you have this weird feeling popping up, but you don't know what it's connected to. We have a couple things coming up in the next couple weeks and into January that's actually bringing up a lot of my past, a lot of my fears, a lot of my worries, a lot of that anger. And It's been hard. And instead of pushing past it and allowing myself to bottle it up, I'm letting myself feel it. I'm letting myself grieve myself. I'm letting myself be angry. I'm letting myself cry. I'm making sure I am communicating with my husband so he knows I'm in this weird stage right now of who I was, what I tolerated, and how much I carried without being held. And yesterday, I listened to a beautiful voice message from a business coach who potentially might be a guest on this podcast in the near future. And it hit me. It hit me that I was still trying to show up in a way that I don't need to anymore. I was still trying to show my worth, how valuable I am. And now I'm back in that mindset. But here's the raw truth: I chose myself. I chose to bring the power back to myself, to empower myself into my becoming. That's on me. That's something I get to hold, because if I wouldn't have chose that, somebody else would be deciding my future right now. And yes, can I grieve that past version? Absolutely. Because it's truly one of the most confronting parts of becoming. You have to go through that. And it's going to pop up at times that you're going to be like, where did this come from? But it means you're no longer willing to abandon who you are, even when it's uncomfortable. For a long time, I labeled what I was feeling as burnout, postpartum depression, failure, all these things. But burnout, postpartum depression, you guys, it's not misalignment and it's not failure. And you know what? Maybe you've gone through that too. Maybe you've done that too. Here's what I've learned, both personally and through walking with other women. Burnout is not often about doing too much. It's about doing what no longer aligns with who you've become and what fills your life with joy. When your identity evolves, but your life hasn't caught up yet, your nervous system feels it first. You start to lose motivation, definitely lose motivation. You feel exhausted even when you rest. The things that used to light you up, they don't anymore. If you're anyone like me, you know my journey has been that. Like, I lost motivation. I was giving my energy to everybody and I was coming home after picking my kids up from daycare. And at 4:30 p.m., I was done. I threw myself in pajamas, got myself tucked into bed, and my husband handled it all. He was holding us all together while I was burnt out and feeling like everything inside me was crumbling because I lost that motivation. I felt exhausted. I felt so exhausted and drained, and that I was giving everything to everyone, and I lost who I was. My light was shining. My light was always shining. But I have been told that I am that person that if I step into a room, they may not know I'm struggling because I can put on a great front and I can have a big smile on my face. However, I have learned that has also been a misalignment for me and that has burnt me out. Now I don't allow myself to bottle up my feelings. I allow myself to feel them. I allow myself to grieve. I allow myself to take space if I need it. And you know what? Right now, I'm seeing all of this information of what has happened in the past as liberating, because at that time, we see it as failure, but it's not failure. It's liberating. It's feedback and lessons. It's our system saying that it no longer fits. It just no longer fits, and we need to recalibrate, realign, pivot. And that's when leadership begins, the moment you start to listen. It's the space and growth that no one prepares us women for. Our identity gap, our true messy middle, and embracing it. It's that space between who we were and who we're becoming. And there have been days, I kid you not, I pray to God all the time. And I'm just like, can you please show me my path? I know you have this great path for me. However, it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey. And My old identity and your old identity, it's cracked, right? And your new one just hasn't fully landed yet. So we feel unsteady. We start questioning ourselves. We start doubting our timing. And we wonder if we made a mistake. And this is where many of us women rush. We rush clarity. We rush decisions. We rush the next version of ourselves. But this gap, this messy middle, it's not a problem. It is the process. And it's a journey. It's where self leadership is formed because leadership isn't built when everything else makes sense. There are days nothing makes sense to me, and I just have to trust the process. But all of this, your messy middle, what you're going through, all of it continues to build when you stay present without certainty. Start taking your power back. I realized something during this season. I've been waiting. I've been waiting for permission. I've definitely been waiting for validation. And I'm waiting for someone else to choose me, to be like, yes, Sydney, that's the one I want to partner with all of the feels that I've been feeling. Quietly, I've been journaling. Quietly, I've been thinking. And quietly, I stopped. After hearing that voice message yesterday, I just reflected in the morning before going to my child's doctor's appointment. And I stopped. And it's not because everything was clear, because it's not clear. It's definitely not clear. If I could tell you the path was so clear, man, I bet I could make millions. But it's because the fear has disappeared. And fear's going to creep back up. I'm going to be completely honest, just like imposter syndrome has popped back up from time to time. And I'm tired. I'm tired of outsourcing my power. I've been giving all my power back to other people and realizing that 7 months ago, I chose to rise into my journey. Why am I giving that power back to others right now? Why have I allowed the shakeup of November to come and shake my life up here in December? Why? I get to take that power back. I get to choose me. I get to make the decision of what I want next. And instead of waiting for someone else to lead me there, I get to choose. You get to choose to rise into your journey. And that choice is the choice that changes everything. And I will never sit here on a pedestal saying it will change instantly, because it won't. And you know it won't. Every great thing, and I wholeheartedly believe this, every great thing built with purpose, passion, heart, it is not built instantly. It does not change instantly. It is not perfect. It will never be perfect, but it's an evolution. It will take time. You'll have great progress, and then all of a sudden you'll have a couple of setbacks, and it will just slowly progress. Instead of rushing, instead of wanting that clarity immediately, but that true, authentic, purposeful, organic growth. Because it's not instant and it's not perfect. It's slow, so purposeful. And that's how I've continued to become my own self leader. That's where and how things continue to shift for me. Because self leadership, it's not confidence. There are days I am not confident. There are days I'm like, what is happening? But I'm being a human being. I am being authentic to myself because I'm going to feel all the feels. Some days you're not going to have confidence. And it's not motivation. I literally texted my husband today and I was like, help me. Help me. I'm trying to get my motivation back, all of it back. I'm like, please help me. I'm sitting at the kitchen table. Please tell me to go downstairs and record my podcast. Because you're not going to have motivation some days, but you're going to have resources in your community. Here's the other thing. Self-leadership does not have all the answers. Man, if I could give you all the answers, again, I would be a millionaire. But self-leadership is staying true with yourself when things are unclear. It's choosing your integrity when certainty is missing. It's continuing forward and it's not forcefully doing it, but you're honestly moving forward and wanting to continue to move forward. And self trust is built when you don't abandon yourself in transition. And that kind of leadership is so quiet. It sneaks up on you because it's not flashy, but it lasts. Here's the part that doesn't get enough airtime: becoming inside real life. You don't get to pause your life while you become. I definitely have not been able to pause. There are children who still need you, families who still rely on you. If you're like me, medical complexities that don't wait for convenient seasons, definitely not at all. And responsibilities that don't just disappear just because you're evolving. For me, self leadership has meant learning how to rise without abandoning my life in the process. It definitely has been having me ask different questions. Not how do I do more, but how do I build with capacity for what I'm being asked to hold? Not how do I push through this, but how do I stay regulated while I walk through it? Because leadership that costs you your health, your presence, or your family is not leadership. It's survival dressed up as success. And I know many of you listening are navigating layered realities too. You're not just becoming, you're parenting, caregiving, managing diagnoses, juggling schedules, holding space for others, making all the Christmas cookies, getting your house ready to host Christmas while still trying to stay connected to yourself. That matters. And the messy middle gets heavier when your nervous system is overloaded, not because you're incapable, but because you are a human being. And this is where the conversation naturally shifts, right? Because once you realize self leadership isn't just this mental moment, this mental like complexity, you start paying attention to your body. And when you're in a prolonged transition, your body keeps the score. Even if your mind understands what's happening, your nervous system is still processing change. That's why during seasons like this, you might notice you have disrupted sleep, heightened emotions, skin changes, digestion shifts, fatigue that feels deeper than tired. These aren't signs you're doing something wrong. They're signals that your system is adapting. And self leadership at this stage isn't just about pushing harder, it's about regulation, about creating moments of safety in your body while your identity is reorganizing, recalibrating, and rising. This is where small intentional rituals matter, not as fixes, but they're your anchors. One of the ways I support myself during these seasons is through grounding embodied rituals. Not because I need to optimize myself, but because my body deserves care while I'm becoming. This is where Pioneer Pam's tinctures have helped and been such a steady support for me. Their approach feels aligned with this season. They're clean, intentional, rooted in regulation rather than urgency. And lately, if you're anything like me, dry skin, or have had a crazy acne outburst, I've especially been connected to their Phytotox anti-aging line. And I want to say this clearly, not from a beauty perspective, but from an embodiment one. My skin has never felt this clean, this healthy, calm, and insanely smooth ever. And my acne, it's gone. It's gone. Like what? And when so much feels uncertain, having rituals that bring you back into your body, that nourish your body, it is such an act of leadership because self leadership isn't just about how you think, it's about how safe your body feels while you're changing. And then there's energy, not hustle energy, definitely not grinding, and not adrenaline, but the kind of energy that lets you stay steady when things aren't resolved yet. That's something I had to learn the hard way. Becoming requires fuel, especially when you're holding family, work, healing, and vision all at once. This is why I've integrated bioactive precision peptides by Make Wellness into my life. They support the body at a foundational level, from energy, recovery, clarity, resilience, better sleep. And for me, this isn't about productivity, it's about sustainability and having the internal resources to lead myself well, even on the messy days. Self leadership means respecting your biology, not overriding it. And here's something else I've learned in this season. While leadership is personal, it is never meant to be isolating. There are moments in becoming where being witnessed matters. We're being held in community, nourishing our bodies, where we're not needing to explain or overperform, but becoming becomes a part of healing. That's why I believe so deeply in intentional spaces for women who are navigating growth, transition, and identity shifts. I've been there, I'm in it. And these spaces are where you don't have to rush clarity, but it's a space where your nervous system can finally exhale. That's exactly why I created the Rise and Reground, the Costa Rica experience. It's not an escape, but it's a true return, a return to your body, your breath, your inner authority. Costa Rica is about grounding before expansion. And there's something in the air there, some type of energy that it's this embodiment before strategy, about letting your system catch up to your vision before asking it to carry more. And if you've been listening to this episode, following all my other episodes, and feeling something stir, not urgency, but recognition, that's worth paying attention to, because self-leadership doesn't force the next step. It listens to it. It aligns with it. So let's bring this home. If you press play on this episode because something in your life just feels messy, unfinished, or uncertain, here's the answer you've been looking for. You're not confused because you're doing it wrong. You're truly not doing it wrong. You're uncomfortable because you're becoming is something new. That is scaring your nervous system. And self-leadership is not built when everything is clear. It's built when motivation fades, but you keep choosing integrity. Identity feels unstable, but you stay present. The next step isn't obvious, but you don't abandon yourself. That's the messy middle. Not a problem to solve, but a season to lead yourself through. Right now, your job isn't to have a 5-year plan. Your job is to build capacity, to ground your body, to support your energy, to create space where your system can catch up to your growth. That's why everything I share here on this podcast, the retreats, the products, my email list, it exists for one reason: to help women lead themselves forward without burning out or bypassing the work. And if what you're craving isn't another answer, but space to slow down, regulate, and reconnect to yourself, that's exactly why Rise and Reground, the Costa Rica experience, exists. Not to fix you, not to rush you, but to help you ground before you expand. If this episode felt like I was speaking directly to where you are, it's not random. That's recognition. And you'll find the details and application for the Costa Rica retreat in my show notes today. And if what you need right now is just to support your body in a different way, whether that's grounding your nervous system, supporting your skin, or building sustainable energy, that's why I trust the products I recommend. Pioneer Pam's tinctures, especially their Phytotox anti-aging line, Hello Beautiful Skin, and Bioactive Precision Peptides by Make Wellness. They're not quick fixes. They'll never be quick fixes. They are tools and resources to help you in your journey of becoming. And they're tools that help me stay steady while I'm becoming. I'll also have those links in my show notes as well. And you know what? If you're not ready for any big step yet, amazing. Awesome. I'm so happy to be able to cheer you on that as well. But I don't want you to navigate that season alone. So join my email list. That's where I share what I'm learning in real time, what I'm building behind the scenes, and what it actually looks like to lead yourself through transition. No noise, no pressure, just grounded guidance. And finally, here's the truth, you guys. You are not behind. You are not failing. And you don't need to wait for someone else to choose you. Self-leadership is built exactly where you are, in the messy middle, in the uncertainty, in the choosing yourself anyways. And today, you did that. So I'll meet you in the next episode. Until next time, loves.